Diana. No. No, this is nice, Diana.
Diana? Where?
Not the other Diana. who-
I'm on the tort committee now.
Well, you're on the tort committee now?
Yes. I wrote the minutes up. So
Okay.
if they look too wordy, that's me.
Well, they're not in our packet, are they?
They are.
They are?
I did manage to stick them in, I think, at the last minute. Let me see, maybe they didn't end up making it in. I tried.
Related to that, besides that, maybe, and the financials, was there anything else that was added to the final package?
So the tort committee minutes are on page 40, I'm sorry, 53 and 54. No, they're only a page and a half. The financials got added, her tort got added. Some assessor stuff got added. Now, that
Hey,
was
Ronnie.
on page, I can't remember how many updates I had. Oh, I got something else from the assessor. That was on page like 68.
You were gonna bring me a fat pen tonight. Next time, I'll hold you to it
I
though.
got one in the car.
No,
You wanna try it?
I'm sure it'll be fine, but next time, you don't have to go back.
Remind me of it at the end here.
Okay.
This is something for for the assessor that we can talk about later.
Oh, the one in Del.
Yeah, that's all.
Oh, right.
Yeah. That's-
Very good.
You know, the village has a waste dump and metals thing open 24/7. I wonder how that works for them. Granted, they do probably have a camera. But I wonder how that works for them. You guys have any issues with that when you were on the board?
There's
Getting
no,
stuff that shouldn't be dumped or whatever?
there's no camera. That's a fallacy.
It's just a sign up there that says,
It's just a sign there. And as far as things getting dumped there, it wouldn't surprise me at all, but I can't prove it. I mean, human nature.
yeah, I know, but I didn't know if there's been issues or not. I mean, when school's on, I drive by it every day, twice a day. And I never really seen anything that's dumped illegal. I mean, like, not a pile of tires or,
No, I don't, I'm not saying that. I'm just.
and they got a metal bin where people just throw in what they want to throw in.
Right. No, I don't know if that would be the same all the township because there's a lot of traffic on that road.
Right.
So I think that deters a lot of people right there.
If you want these, I can.
Hey, Ron.
Hey, Jared, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, thank you.
Shutting her off, huh?
Yeah, just,
Which one you selling?
so I bought, so I put 4 acres on
You're
my
right.
land. Yeah, yeah. She's real creative.
Hey, Red. Good to see you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve.
Greetings.
So I figured.
So if I've ever heard so much thunder in my entire life is what it's been doing all. Not a drop. Well, Janeson's got about 3 inches, so we don't need that either.
Not like you're gonna
I don't apologize, I probably stink.
Farm
so
too,
I'm
we
just
don't.
gonna apologize. I'm gonna have a shower. I might go sit there.
The suspicion is that will take 10 years from
Who knows? Who knows?
See, we killed 3 more trees tonight.
Thank you. I've been saying that for years. It never happened.
Oh.
Good. Yeah. It's boring. So, okay.
No, you're one.
Oh, okay.
Basically.
So it's a good thing you came.
Just do what they say.
That's all your family. So fair, but you.
I was a Friday night.
Were you?
Mhm. I went and got cheese curds, but you weren't working for a cheese. curds. I didn't even.
Yeah, that's like.
No, something happens. You don't have to sell. See if we keep this.
Tractor pulls.
Yeah, you know.
But I must miss it because I work every day. I donated every day,
Donated
even yesterday.
So who's doing?
So what was the point of yesterday? Did they have anybody there that couldn't have been? 100
Basically
people?
taking
was.
some walls down.
Yeah,
Just
there
to
wasn't a lot of people.
The rest of the houses. Dane Building Concepts, Jim
Yeah.
Lampe. So, actually, it's from
I think it was a nice day. But really, if they're gonna do that, they should make.
And that's what we're doing, just taking a couple of walls down.
Oh,
And that kind of stuff, opening that up.
Kids could be on us.
To our current hospital. Sold it to us day.
It starts on Tuesday.
All right. You can't start it a couple days later.
Bye. Yeah.
So just
2.5, just a lot.
Oh, that's nice. I'll probably get it.
Yeah, they recommend.
Sunday night.
No. 3 months are great. I don't want to
you don't
deal with it, and have them come through for a week or two. So
That was really good.
people came through.
They did really good.
Came through. They've got the offer next day.
They're gonna move to. What's gonna happen?
I said, good, sounds good.
Yeah, we just had a deal on some land.
You're lucky, yeah.
I haven't heard nothing more of these things. I don't,
Sure, you,
3 years.
well,
3 years ago, yeah.
but then you gotta turn around.
I haven't
and
heard
put it right
that.
back.
We did, we extended the close of August transaction. We used to stay there, literally.
I have a question. So I was
They want-
approached by Schwarzenegger.
So.
He lives on South Storytown. And he was wondering about the speed limit there, and nothing's posted. So I'm assuming that it's probably 55, even though North Storytown is
Yeah, I saw
45.
I'm not so.
And, I told them I don't think the speed study. But there's not a lot of houses, there's no houses going. So what's the deal with those signs that people put up themselves, just make it's like a turtle that's green saying caution children. Maybe yeah, because for us to get caution children.
But it's not supposed to 55 either.
So this is my house. Yep, it should be. This is the farm in front. of the
Maybe it
house, and that is mom.
I can look at that legal book.
That's what I'm
So it all
buying.
sounds, those street limits, right?
Oh, okay.
The only one in that book legally was Storytown North.
Found
I mean, it's Storytown South.
was
Storytown North was legally and
fence.
The one that wasn't in there was Sundown Parkway.
So we
Sundown Parkway did
could
have
just sell bridge 36 feet.
So-
Back and 3
so-
feet in the back. So
You think that's-
fence, everyone's happy.
no, you know,
That's 2 changes.
It's next to the park. The guy, what's the guy's name that has the
Same
things?
Yeah,
I know, I
His neighbor.
know these are different.
I think the deal is because the road is so nicely paved, cars.
So I don't know what I'm gonna do.
He bought that,
So how many
they had property up north.
Still
He
not
bought that.
4 or 6, something like that. I said,
He was willing to give the
you
property
just
up
give
north. About
Yeah.
sure, it's up there.
I said, so you're done. Few more lots.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What was he then?
Can be a little.
Yeah.
That's-
He does can't look. Most of it doesn't have a plan. We got some information.
go, how do you know? How do you know what it is?
There you go, good job. Yep. See what's down over there. It's like Josh. It's green.
His name is Rich.
Yeah.
Jennifer's here. Yeah, Jennifer.
Chop down some of it.
Ready? It is Tuesday, July 5th, 2022, 6:30 PM. I'll call this meeting of the Oregon Town Board to order at 1138 Union Road, Oregon, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Did I get roll call?
Kate Gladden. Here. Craig Clark,
Somewhat.
Maynes.
Here.
And Carl Walzer.
Here.
Arlen Kai is absent.
Thank you. Okay, approval of minutes. We got to approve both those separate minutes from the special meeting and the other one.
If you would, please.
I'll call for a motion to approve the meeting. Was that 6:15?
Review meeting.
Yeah,
So I'll move to approve the minutes for the Board of Review meeting, Tuesday, June 7th.
got a motion from Carl. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
A second from Kate. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say saying aye.
Aye.
Both same sign. I need a motion to approve the last board meeting. This was also 7.
I'll make a motion to approve the Tuesday, June 7th, 2022 board meeting minutes.
That motion from Fred, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second from Kate. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say saying aye.
Aye.
Both same sign. Motion carries. Item 4, finance report and payment vouchers approval.
I'll move to accept the financial report in, we need to do them separate or can they do one motion?
You can do one motion. I'm
No.
sorry. I'm trying to get this.
Financial report and payment vouchers.
Got a motion from Fred, is there a second?
Second.
Second from Carl. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say saying aye.
Aye.
Both same sign. Motion carries. Item 5 is appearance by the county sheriff. He's not here.
I would, actually, I talked to him. I think he had a baby, and so he will be out for a few weeks.
Item 6 is public comment. Anybody in the audience have anything they'd like to comment on?
Diana Lutz, Dam, 6237 Oak Hollow Drive. I'd like to say thanks for getting the mowing done along the roads. I really appreciate that the weeds are getting cut down.
It's been a long process. Anybody else with public comment? Seeing none, we'll go on to item 7, communication, Dane County Board. Jerry Belly.
Hi, everyone. We only had one county board meeting last month, and it was the first county board meeting in 2.5 years. So it was more, and I haven't met 80% of the new supervisors, so it was more before the meeting and after the meeting. It was a lot of, hi, how are you? And just getting to know our colleagues. We had one meeting of Dane County zoning and regulation, and the township did not have any petitions on that, so I don't have anything to report on that. So I'm basically here just to see if you had any questions or concerns for me.
I don't have any. Is anyone else on the board? Everybody's shaking their head no.
Okay.
Easy night. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, item 8, discussion and possible approval of recommendation from the plan commission. Arlen is not here. So land rezone certified survey map request. Petition number DCPREZ -2022-11859, parcel number 0509-031-9001-6. Ronnie Jenkins, do you want to come up and kind of tell us what you want to do?
Sure.
Meeting, but if you want to explain to the rest of the board what we're doing.
Hello, everyone. So we're actually requested to make 2 changes. So this right here is all of our property currently within the trust, with family trust. My mother passed away the 1st of December of last year, and this was her house in their outbuilding shed. I currently live here, so I live in the front right. She lived in the back left cornfield. And I'm gonna buy this property and move there. So I want to buy it from the half from my sister from the estate. And so what we'd like to do is make this just one lot. So it's about 4 acres in front and roughly 5 acres in the back. And then the other change we're requesting is with Rich Striegel's land here. When she died and we had the appraiser come in and the certified survey map folks, surveyors, we found out that there actually was a fence that was on our property. And so we're selling Rich 3 feet to the left and 36 feet in the back. So we don't have to deal with the fence. He doesn't deal with the fence and we're all happy. And so, but we have to get the right survey. No current plans to do anything with the rest of the land other than continual agriculture. You rent that land out and have no immediate plans to do anything other than that. So that's the short version. Questions?
Planning Commission did make approval to recommend, so is there any questions from the board? So I'll call for a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve petition DCP REZ 2022-11-859 parcel 050903-1-9001-6 5400 Nether Road.
Got a motion from Fred. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Got a second from Kate. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, sir. You're all done.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for coming in. B is presentation of the town of Oregon comprehensive plan draft map. Arlen and Kim both recommended me to wait till we have it all put together and do it all at once, instead of doing piecemeals. So we'll pass on that. 9 is discussion of possible action on 5566 Alpine Road. The guy is not here. I don't know. You did send a letter out, right,
I
Jennifer?
did
But
send a letter,
you
yes.
know when it went out? Do you remember what day?
You know, let me see, what date did I have on that letter? And we had a holiday weekend in there too, so I
Right,
think
that's
that
why.
that's a little difficult.
Here it is.
So,
Doesn't have
I don't have a date on it, that's even weird.
And I'm just wondering if we shouldn't wait until
I would say it's late.
next month, because they didn't get much time.
No,
At least give them a chance to come in, because I know it didn't go out till late last week. And I'll try to make connections with them again and see if I can't try to resolve it. If I can't, I think we'll just table it for next month then. I mean, it's been there this long, what's another month? Get it out before winter, so. If everybody's okay with that, that's what I'd like to do. Okay. So put that back on the agenda for next month, Jennifer.
absolutely.
If I get it resolved before then, I'll tell people. 10, discussing possible action, 1355 Fifth Hatchery Road. There is a tree. And unfortunately, I wasn't involved in this until just lately. I don't know if everybody went out and looked at it. It's not all on town property. It's not all in the right of way. But the guy was told from the town that the town would take it down at their expense because he's paid taxes all these years. So I'm bringing it to the board. I told him I would discuss it. I asked him if he'd pay half of it, and he gave me that answer too, that he's paid taxes all these years, he shouldn't pay half. But it is about half on the right away and half on his. And I'm hoping.
Who led him to believe that that would be the situation? Do we know?
One of our road patrolmen who marked the tree. So he gave me totally different stories than what I've been told, so it's like, I don't know, I'd like to see him pay for part of it. I know this is probably 3 months, 4 months old, I don't know how old it is for sure. But the last I was told it was $1,800 to take it down. I tried to call Jeff today and he's on vacation, went back till next week, so I couldn't get an answer from Jeff. So if you want to table another month, we can do that too, or if you want to make a decision, I'm open. Trees are getting expensive to take down.
It's too big for us to do it.
Oh, it's way,
It's giant.
It's huge. You drive by it. It's huge. It's a big tree. And it's power lines.
Hmm.
And it's power
Yeah.
lines. So
I mean, the best thing we do if it fell under in a storm, but.
Maybe you'll have it tonight.
It doesn't, it's dead, but it's a healthy dead tree, if you wanna put it that way. I mean, it's not like it's split, it's not cracked, it's. How long it'll last, I don't know, you know,
What kind of tree was it?
oak,
Big old-
it's a big, it's big. It's huge. I mean, I guess we could say, well, we pay 1,500 and he pays the rest, that would make him pay for some, I think he'd probably go along with that, but. I told him I'd see what the board went, and if we could make an agreement, we would discuss it.
So what is normally done in a situation like this? Is this the first time?
This is pretty much the first time this has happened.
Okay,
If they're in the right of way, you know, we gotta take them down.
You said it was only partially. enough.
It's half. I measured it today, it's half and half. We measured different. He said it was pretty much all on, and then he was out there, I measured today, and then. Yeah, he agreed with me, it was on, it was half and half.
Did you get the
Just
quote?
take our half off.
yeah, just
Yeah.
take our half.
Oh, okay.
Take our half.
Just take our half.
Take it down vertically.
So,
Well, Wayne, you've talked to the guy. What do you think? Do you think he'll pay part?
well, I think if we. Like I say, this bid came in a while ago, I wanted to get a fresh bid. But my feeling is, well, the town said we approve 15, you pay the rest. That's a pretty good deal for him, even if he's got to pay $300 or $500.
Right.
You know, and then it doesn't look like that we're paying for it all on, what part of it is on his property. That's the way I look at it, whether, you know, I know it ain't half, but. Some of it is our responsibility. So. I wasn't gonna make that a motion, I was just making that a recommendation, because I was told it was 1,800. But like I say, I can get old Jeff because he's gone. If that was 3 or 4 months ago, it might be 2,000 today, I don't know. But if we said, well, we'll pay 15, you don't have to pay the rest. He doesn't go along with it, and we start over. But that's just the number I threw out there, so.
Township cleaning it up,
No, he's cleaning it all up.
is that right?
That's just to take it down.
Yeah, okay,
That's just dropping it down and then they,
that's
because
right.
he burns wood,
Oh, okay.
he burns wood, yeah.
So we get some benefit out of it coming down. Right, some,
Yeah,
he
right.
gets some benefit.
He gets a lot of benefit.
Yeah,
That's worth something.
but it's a huge tree. I mean, there's a lot of wood, it's gonna take a lot of work to, if you're gonna burn it, to clean it up. It's, I mean, the round that thing is as wide as this table, the width of it on the bottom. So I just threw that out there, just, you guys can.
I like your idea. I mean, part of me is tempted just to say, let's just do it and get on with our lives, right? But I think your idea is good, and he's in for a little bit.
Fred?
I agree. Let's tell him that we'll pay up to 1,500 and he can cover the rest, whatever that rest is.
I agree too.
Okay, I'll pass that on. If it doesn't work, you'll see it on the agenda for next month. Thank you. We probably gotta have a motion for that.
I'll make a motion that we pay up to $1,500 for tree removal at 1355 Fish Hatchery Road.
Got a motion from Fred. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second from Carl. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, is saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Item 11, discuss on possible action on a joint excavator trailer purchase. I know pages down, I've already looked at it.
27.
Well, we've already kind of discussed this, it's kind of done on this trailer, so we just need to make a motion and move forward on it. 6,500 is our share.
So I'll make a motion to participate in the purchase of the excavator from,
Trailer.
oh, just the trailer, sorry,
Just the trailer.
this is just the trailer, from the trailer, the interstate trailer. Grand total 26,000, the town's share 6,500.
Got to make a motion from Carl. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second from Kate. Any further discussion? Hearing none, in all favors, may say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item 12, discuss some possible action. Review of the Dane County Sheriff Department contract. And we're also going to need to contact the attorney to redo the cemetery. Because somehow there got to be a driveway easement in the cemetery and Bob Dick doesn't want it. So like this kind of information, we have no idea what's going to cost. It's just to get approval to spend the money to call the attorney to do it, because we should get the attorney's opinion on that contract. And he's going to have to do the cemetery access easement, because I don't know anyone else that can do it. So it's kind of my information. I don't know if we need a motion on that, because we don't know what's going to cost. I think we just make them, or I guess we make a motion, say that Jennifer can contact the attorney to resolve these two issues.
I'll make a motion that Jennifer contact our attorney to review the Dane County Sheriff Department contract and amending the cemetery easement with Robert Dick.
Got a motion from Kate. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second from Carl. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, item 13, engineering review, discussion possible action on engineering review on Fish Hatch Road and Lincoln Road. Does anybody know any more about this than I do?
I reached out to both Doug Cena from JT Engineering, and I reached out to Greg Hoffmeister to ask them what it would cost us, since the county does not do engineering studies for intersections. And I did not hear back from Greg Hoffmeister, but I did hear back from Doug Cena. And it looks like, according to his email on page 42, that it would cost the town $1,500 to do a review of that intersection. And then that would be what we would need to qualify to make that an all stop or a three-way stop.
I don't know what they do. I mean, I don't know what are they gonna do?
It seems like to make it official, you have to do
Right,
that, just
but-
like the thing with the speed studies.
But what are they gonna do?
Right.
You know,
They'll do a traffic count, number one,
they will do a traffic count?
yes, they will.
And somewhere, I don't know if it's this
I thought
email
they
or something,
already
they were gonna do photos of,
Yeah.
as if you were sitting at the intersection and then looking west and looking
Oh.
east, you know, that type of thing, to say, okay. And if he was gonna set up in some way where you get an idea, like, okay, do you see a approaching car or not?
I think if they wanted, if we wanted the traffic count, like Steve said, it would be an additional $1,000.
Additional $1,000
Yeah,
it says for.
But he said he didn't believe the volumes would be higher, so he felt he didn't think we would have to do that. He thought that 1,500 with those pictures
I
that
wonder-
Carl was talking about.
Wonder if we could get the
That-
county to just do the traffic count for us and wouldn't charge us much. It's just something laid across, but I'll check into that.
Yeah, I reached out to Pam Dunphy
Yeah.
and she said they do not do that.
They don't do that?
Mhm. She says we do not conduct engineering studies for townships.
No, but I mean a traffic count.
Yeah, I don't think I think that's included in the engineering studies. I don't know, you can look into it,
I'll
but
check
I
into
don't
something.
think that would qualify. I don't
that-
think that it's gonna qualify, because he puts in the email down here that you have to have so many vehicles, and they don't think that the traffic count would qualify to make that an all-way stop. You're gonna make it an all-way stop. There are three ways, and the way that you would qualify is basically, I think it's site, was that a site?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
number 3 in his list, so.
Yeah,
Yeah, the first one was traffic counts, and he more or less said, no, you're not gonna qualify.
yeah,
Then the crash history, and pretty much, no, you're not gonna qualify.
yeah.
And then the other one is, okay, does physically, what does it look like, and can we show that visibility is impaired?
Okay.
And I think that's where he said it would be 1,500 for them to do
Right.
this vision triangle, clearing, slope flattening.
Fred, what do you think? You drive there more than
I
anybody.
think 2 signs would solve it. A sign that's coming up when you're on Fish Hatchery Road to the south, that says, not all people turn right at this intersection. And another sign coming when you're heading west, use your turn signal when you're turning north on the Fish Hatchery Road. Those 2 signs would help that intersection immensely.
Big sign.
Flashing,
Flashing in the-
but yeah,
Or maybe 3 stops.
It's, yeah, it's an intersection that people pull out in front of everybody all the time because nobody heads east or west on Lincoln Road past Fish Hatchery, so they always pull out. Steve can attest to that.
Half a dozen close calls.
And the other thing is, if you're sitting at the stop sign on Fish Hatchery Road, they'll signal from me to that chair that they're turning.
That's about right.
So that's why everybody pulls out, because everybody assumes that they're heading, so. But yeah, it's a dangerous intersection, always has been.
So I'll call for a motion to spend $1,500 on engineer fees.
Make a motion that we spend $1,500 to approve putting a 3-way stop at the intersection of Lincoln and Fish Hatchery Road.
Got a motion from Kate. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Clarify first.
Second from Fred. Further discussion. So you want to clarify?
Yeah, always because I think the 1,500 just gets us the analysis. And the answer might be that it's a 3-way stop or an all-way stop, I think if I read it right, I mean,
Well,
that's what we're aiming for.
but the engineer fee would be 1,500.
The engineering fee would be 1,500.
Right. The stop signs would have. it.
Stop signs is separate, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying if the end result, in theory, I guess, could be that the engineering study says, no, you don't really need a 3-way stop.
I don't know if we can go, if we go get the engineering fee. We get the engineer study. I don't know if we can go against that. We'd have to check into that.
Because I'm saying what we'd be approving, I think, here is the study and not
Right.
knowing the results of the study.
Right, that's what we're doing.
No, I get it, but I think
Right.
the wording was slightly, I would take the 3-way stop out of it and just say, we do the engineering study to analyze that intersection.
You want to
You know
withdraw
what
your
I'm
motion? You want to read back that motion, Jennifer? You know what it was?
Sure. How about, she said, the way that Kate kind of said the motion was, I think that there would be a 3-way stop. And I think what Carl's saying is take out the 3-way stop, that we're approving the engineering study up to $1,500 to review the intersection of Fish Hatchery and Lincoln.
But you almost got to say that we're doing this engineer study for a 3-way stop.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right.
for a 3-way stop at the corner.
Or didn't JT go there and look at it and say they felt pretty sure that?
I thought so. He said,
I didn't read it, I'll be honest with you.
we would take a cone out, place it where the driver on Lincoln would need to be and photograph it from the stoppers. This seems to be the approach that would lead to an all-way stop based on what I know about that intersection that I drive my daughter to school. So he kind of did
I
make
think
it
your
seem.
motion's okay.
Okay.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. 14. Discuss and possible approval of resolution 03-2022 to adopt the town of Oregon annex to the Dane County Natural Mitigation Plan. Did you get any more information on that, Jennifer?
That is on page 44. And we need to make a motion, and this would be the final, well, I guess Carl can talk about it. This is the final result of.
Right, so this is for the natural hazard mitigation plan that we did in the
Okay.
fall. It went to the county, then it went to the state, came back to the county, and so now we need to approve this resolution that just ties it all together.
Okay,
Because then we'll feed that back to the county and
sure.
they finalize the plan then, and it becomes eligible for FEMA funding if it applies and all of that.
I'll call for a motion.
So I move to approve the resolution number 03-2022 to adopt the town of Oregon annex to the Dane County Natural Hazard Mitigation Plan.
Got a motion from Carl. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second from Kate. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, saying aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carries.
Okay, for clarity on 13, once that engineering study is back, that will come back to the town board. I don't know if it will be the August meeting, if they can get it done, and then you can review it at that time
Yep.
for installing the signs.
It's in the works.
And then
15, discussion possible approval, Dane County, Urbans County Consortium Amendment to Cooperation Agreement. Is this the one that,
I think Kate. did you
I
ever
sent
hear
an
back?
email to, what is his name here? Well, he didn't answer.
Oh.
But I think it's okay. I mean, I read over it several times, the legalese, and figured out basically what it is. It's loans or money that would be available to middle or lower income people, or for people that wanted to set up businesses to hire. And it goes along with HUD. Now, whether we do this or not, it's available to people in our town, but it's easier to get it this way. If we aren't part of this, they have to go through the state. And otherwise, if a person notices, oh, there's something it could be good for, they can call and say, yeah, your township is part of it. So I think it's okay to sign it.
And this is a renewal, right? So we participated in the last 2.5 years, and this would kick in 2023.
okay, I'll call for a motion.
I make a motion that we approve and sign the attached amendment to cooperation agreement and return it to Dane County the Wednesday, and this is regarding Dane County's Urban County Consortium, upcoming cycle 2023-2025.
And a motion from Kate, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second from Carl, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, I'm saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carries. 16, discuss and possible approval appointment of 2 new plan commission members. You've all got emails. They both accepted. So I would make the motion that we approve Chuck Soul of 5562 Bellbrook Road, Brooklyn, and Gina Larson. I think her address is 494 Hillcrest Lane. We interviewed them. It went very well. And we're good. So I'd like to make a motion to approve them.
I'll second that.
Second from Carl. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, so saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Yes, they do. I don't know. if
Do
they-
that, you
I
can
gotta
do that
appoint 'em.
next time at the plan commission meeting. Yeah, you can do that.
Fire and EMS, Brooklyn, there's nothing Mark said because they didn't meet. Bowell, did you do anything with Carl?
There were actually two meetings since our last meeting. One was middle of June and one was this morning. Most of it's, basic stuff, but there are some personnel changes there. During a couple weeks ago, the chief had just resigned. And they had offered, there was a committee, an interviewing committee essentially, that offered the job to a chief out of Broadhead. He accepted, and actually his first day was today. And there was a meeting, just a short meeting with the district board and the chief, just sort of an introductory thing this morning. Those were the main things.
Belleville, your minutes are in there. Kind of look at them. There's really nothing new. He's going for people. There really isn't. Nothing new to talk about. The minutes are in there. If you have any questions, let me know. 18 thing on emergency management report. You need anything to talk about there, Carl?
No, just the resolution that we talked about already.
Cemetery report. We kind of discussed that. We'll get information from the attorney and hopefully we can get this thing done in the next couple months, get it off the book, off the agenda.
I have a question. So, so I just came on the board in the middle of all this when we did the repaving and all that stuff. And you would like to have more plots. How do we go about that?
That's part of it,
What that's gonna be.
right? Because help me with the name. I can't think of his name now. He's from New Glarus. Anyway, whatever his name is, he's a surveyor.
Tesla.
He's already plotted it out, or he surveyed it. And then he came up with this driveway easement. And once we get that cleared up, then he's gonna plot it out.
So I think that what we need to do before we plot it out, though, in our ordinance,
Right.
we actually have to have a public hearing to make sure that the residents know we are plotting, that we're making that bigger.
So I think the first thing is get this driveway ordinance cleaned up, so all we have is our lot. And then we can there'll be more stuff to do yet, but yes. So yeah, just getting rid of this driveway, but finalize things, there's more steps to make yet.
And he called me, he submitted the preliminary for the county review of, so that it needed to be surveyed, the whole, like Wayne was saying, there's like different lots there, it didn't make sense, so he's gonna survey the whole thing. He submitted that for review. Once we get the easement, he'll add that, but he wanted to get it to the county because there's such a long period of.
It was good that we actually got into this, getting it settled, because it wasn't.
So how long ago were the first people buried there and are they even marked?
Oh, them are, yeah, oh, yeah, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, we bought some more land from Bob Dick 8 years ago, I don't know what it was, whatever it was. But it didn't really get all finalized, kind of the way it shows right now, so we want to get that done.
Before I got on the board.
What's this?
It was before, yeah.
Okay. So anyway, I was kind of glad we stepped into it, got things, so we get it finalized, get it all. Correct.
Carl, would you like emergency management report to stay on the agenda, or would you like that to be taken off for a while?
Actually, we might want to leave it because part of the plan that we submitted had an education component,
Okay,
so we should probably keep
Okay.
that there.
all right.
20 Park Committee, Steve.
Yeah, our last park meeting was short. Committee approved purchasing a picnic table for the Fifth Park to the tune of $1,438.
How much?
Similar picnic table was put in at Raven Oaks. And so we approved the purchase of that. And so I'm asking the town board to follow up and approve that funding so it can be ordered before the price goes up. We are also looking for tree replacement for the one that's taken down, so at some future date, we'll have some more shade in that park area. And we'll be either doing it this fall or spring. To determine what kind of tree we want to put in and how big. The Kennedy Park dedicated park meeting was pushed off until July 11th. So it's coming up this Monday. Park Committee wants to thank Kate for being instrumental in getting the park sign in place at the trailhead to Raven Oaks Park. Really appreciate the work that you've done in that. Thank you. I've had several emails inquiring about the mountain bike trail being put in. They're all positive emails. Two gentlemen wanted contact information because they want to help volunteer their time in continuing that trail. No work being done on the trail because the scouts is at summer camp. So you'll see a lot of work beginning at the end of this month. That's all I have.
Okay, item 21,
I
discuss.
have a question.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So this is repercussions to the last meeting. And I felt, I don't know what word I'd say, but I wasn't very happy with the way the last meeting went, because I don't consider a preliminary okay a final okay. And I've talked to a couple people too and told them about the mountain bike. They're very upset. So in my opinion, I think it should have been notified, not just the people that came to that meeting. It should have been sent out to people at that meeting. This is what is going to be brought up. So in looking into this, we haven't had a park plan, a new one, for 39 years. So I kind of think it would be a good idea. And how do we do it so we're sure when we bring something from the park committee to the town board, all the information is there, so it doesn't have to take so much time. And I'm also, you know, you explained it to me a long time ago, Steve, but I don't understand the park money and the town money.
Well, the park fund started how many years ago? I couldn't say, the 70s, 80s, I don't know what it was. But every time there was a lot sold, at that time it was called a park fund, that the farmer was plotted off a lot, had to donate $600 towards the park fund. That's how it got built and got started.
Okay.
And I don't know how many years ago it was that we had to change it to a different name, but we still continue to use that money towards park expense. It is town's money, but it is park expense.
It's kept in an impact fee. And I would highly recommend we review the impact fee because there was a lot of litigation stemming from developers and things like that because municipalities were abusing impact fees. And so that's why these stricter restrictions came down. And you have to use the money, you have to put it in a separate account. In our research of reaching out, other people are not using it because of the restrictions that are, it doesn't mean you couldn't do something similar, but there are a lot of restrictions. And I've reached out to the Wisconsin Towns Association because we have some money that has to get used, but it's not considered park money anymore. It could be used for anything. So we don't keep it in park funds anymore. But yes, you're right.
The impact fee is a separate, completely
Yeah.
separate fee used for town recreation. However they decide to use it, doesn't have to go to park restoration or park development. It can go for a trail. It can go to support the trail that the village put in, which part of it did back then. So that takes care of the impact fee.
This is all, it's all kind of related to something I mentioned last meeting about a future agenda item that I'd like to talk about. And that's, I think, there are certain cases that bubble up where it's not really certain, like who's making the decision and why they're making the decision, right? So to take a look at what are the powers and what are the duties and what are the responsibilities of, say, supervisors on the board, various committee members, various committees themselves, like, is it just advisory or do they have the ability to, the power to get bids, approve expenses, things like that? I don't think we are necessarily all on the same page with that. And I've always started to dig into the statutes and whatever. So I don't have anything specific to talk about tonight, but it would go to this type of situation where in my head, the park committee and any other committee has an advisory role. They come to the board and say, okay, we would like to do this. And they don't come to the board and say, we just did this without getting it approved by you. So there are going to be situations like that I think that we can clarify. And I don't know what the right answer is. Sitting here tonight, I don't know what the right answer is, but I think it's important that we look at.
Well, you're on the park committee.
Right.
The recommendation would be to take your book and bring it up to the park committee and you guys start working on it and you handle it how you want to handle it. And Steve's the chair, you're on the committee and
Right. I just think it would have been nice, because I just in my experience on the park committee before I was on the board, there was so much I didn't know. And then now that I've been on the board, I understand a little bit more what is required, what is necessary. And I think we could have avoided that situation at the last board meeting if the other people on the park committee knew too. So I think we could set up a plan, some standards, how we do stuff, making a motion, coming back and discussing it again, not calling each other.
And isn't having a current plan a qualification or requirement for some grant funding too? And so our plan is, it's like we don't have a plan. If it's
Steve, is there anything since this plan?
No,
So that would help us too. I mean, just to get an understanding, because I don't think we have an understanding of what the important.
so I think that should go back to the park committee. It's all on the table. You guys can discuss it where it's gonna go. Okay,
Would that be something that the extension can help with, Steve? Can they help with those plans? The UW extension?
it's possible. They initially were involved with preliminary development of the town park in the first couple of years that the park committee was formed. We had public hearings, yes, very possible.
There might be some funding that you might want to, at budget time, put towards that to figure out, because like we did with the comp plan, there might be some costs, obviously, with that.
okay.
Okay.
Item 21 is discussing possible approval of the purchase of picnic table from the park. And that's the bid here, right? 151709.
And this is different than the one that Steve mentioned.
That includes the tax. Take away the
So is it
tax.
the same?
Oh, take away the tax? Okay. I just seen the total amount. That's what I read. So it's actually, you gotta add the 1175 and then 263 for shipping. Right?
Eliminate the tax.
It'll be 1438. Does that sound right?
Yes.
He said that?
He said,
All right. So like, huh?
Okay, that's fine.
Sorry. Like a motion to approve for purchase of a picnic table of $1,438.
I'll make that motion to approve a picnic table for the town parks for 1438.
Got a motion from Fred. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is that a woodwork?
Second from Kate. Any further discussion?
Oh.
Hearing none, all in favor, say saying aye. Aye. Pose same sign, motion carries. 22, plan commission report. Arlen's not here. Did he put anything in the packet? I didn't see nothing.
He did not.
And well, I was there too. That's what's funny. I was not there. I was there, but I had to leave early because it started. We got that weather alert and I had to go home and unload hay. Put hay in the shed. So were you here? You weren't here
You know, I
either.
listened to
You were online.
almost all of it online. And I mean, I think a lot of the talk was about the RH and they
Right.
decided to just start with a clean slate with everything.
It was Jenkins' property. And then that's when I left. Well, Eric Grover came in. That's right. I stayed till he was there. Then I left. He's 4 or 5 parcels on Alpine Road. He's splitting off. And he has a right to do that.
Right.
And then I left. And then after that, they just talked about the comp plan. So that's all I really have. Anybody got anything for Anderson Farm? What's
Can I make a comment?
Sure.
I was not at the meeting purposely, but my Canadian family was here. I wasn't about to disrupt being with them after not being with them for over 3.5 years. After sitting on planning commission meetings, I've gotten the impression that they do not want to be transparent at all about RH properties in the past. And I don't know where the legacy property, in quotation marks, definition came in. It's not written down anywhere. So I would be very careful to the town board, be extremely transparent with what they decide to do or what they decide to tell the town planning commission to do. Because they have not been transparent on this issue at all.
Mhm.
That's all I have to say. on that.
Have you got any questions for Steve? Hearing none. Anderson Farm report. I don't have nothing. Do
I
you,
do.
Steve?
You do.
Okay, I know they have, go ahead.
Yeah, it's just, there was a lot of people hopefully will be coming to the park that are coming to the garden tour.
And that's the next 2 days, I believe.
And I think he got something settled with the underwater irrigation because a lot of plants died last year and he's really happy that all got taken care of.
Okay. Council report. Kurt's not here. Public Works, they finally got everything all mowed. August 18th is the Corey meeting at the Claim Pit at 5:30 p.m. And I guess for those that are new, because Kate hasn't even been there yet.
No,
Payne and Dolan gives us a complete tour of the pit and their operations, and they invite the neighbors and they invite the board and the plan commission members. And it's very educational, and you get on a bus or two and we drive around and see the whole sites, and we're hoping this year to have the what do you call it, digger working? I can't think of it's called, drag line.
Drag line.
Working. So yes,
I would like to add, the park committee members are also included in that invitation.
sure, yep. So if you want to tell them at your meeting,
I already have.
you have, good. Yeah,
You said the 18th?
is, yeah, the 18th at 5:30.
Did I not send out an email?
I do not have the address. It's on off of MM. In a Dolan plain aggregate pit, that's it. Okay, 26 torque report, Fred, yeah, we've got a letter here, so.
So we had our first tort committee meeting last Thursday night, and for what it went fairly well. It was a 25 to 30 irate people in the audience, to put it lightly. So I started out the meeting by giving them a history of how we got to this point, and I don't know if they listened or not, but hopefully they did. So we're going to next Saturday, some of our committee members are going to the tort and going to watch the operations and to see how many people are using, see how it goes, stuff like that. And then
This coming Saturday?
this coming Saturday. Yep, correct. So they can, and some of them have never been to the tort, so they can see how it works and get some ideas of what we can do and go from there. So our next meeting will be, when is it, July 20th or something like that.
It was July 21st,
21st.
Thursday.
I was
right?
off day off,
Yeah.
July 21st. So, and we had board members there and they can, everybody help control the crowd, so it went well for what it was.
Good. Glad to hear it.
You did well. You did a good job.
Thank you.
So you can keep talking. Item 27, discussing possible approval of hiring temporary limited term help.
So we got an application in our binder and it's hard to get torque employees. And if somebody wants a Saturday off, we don't really have any backup. This wouldn't be a full-time position. It would just be a limited term kind of deal. So. Was there anything else we were gonna say about that, Jennifer? I don't remember what I'm gonna say.
You know, I would just, you know, we would probably want to just put a deadline on, since it's limited term. I was assuming if you're just gonna have them for the summer, you would do like September 30th, and then if there's something that's needed past that, you'd have to come back to the town
How
board.
about we do the end of the year?
I was gonna say,
Sure,
We're in July now, so we're only got a couple months to get to September, so. if we
kind of
just-
been sitting on it a while, haven't we? Yeah, we could do 12/31 of 22.
Yeah, just, Bruce Carl, I can't say name, sorry. One of our torque employees has expressed that he would like some more time off sometimes, and it's kind of hit or miss, so. So it'd be nice to have one in our pocket just in case something was to happen.
I agree.
And we lost last year, or earlier this year, we had a torque employee that was out for a substantial amount of time. So it'd be nice to have somebody in our pocket.
The only thing is, he can't work Wednesdays, correct?
Correct.
So we just, if there's somebody else out there, we could.
Do you think it'd be helpful in the decision with the torque to run it? And then I'm thinking that if people were interested, they might come to the torque and say, oh my God, are you gonna fix this up? I mean, it might be another way to gather information. Or maybe there are people that would like to, because if we don't have any backups for Wednesday.
And we've read ads before, and we've been successful.
We have,
Yeah, we've ran ads before for the torque. Yeah, we've been successful with ads
Okay.
before.
we can run an ad. Are you talking like newspaper ad, or are you talking like just internet?
First off, who's covering Wednesday now? Just Sheldon, Lori?
Dave and Sheldon, I do believe.
Is Lori available for Wednesdays if needed?
Never have had that discussion with her, because they were short on hours from their job and they were looking to pick up hours here, and then, so it depends on what their full-time job.
She wants a
I have a
job.
question. So there were so many people in the audience
You're
the other
hired.
night. No.
Thank you.
But that's why you put your hand up.
That were so interested in keeping the torque going. If you put a sign up at the torque, that might generate some interest in someone that would.
Try that too. That's a good point. I mean,
That would be interested in just some part-time work.
right, we could do that. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, why don't we try that?
Okay, try that.
Sounds like a plan to me.
May I contact Phil to have a nice sign made?
It's not his business no more.
So
He's
That's
completely
right.
out of it.
he is completely out of it, so
Uh,
is there a sign in place? Can we?
But I I would go with UPS store in Stoughton.
Okay,
He's a resident of town right now.
Okay.
Dave Gasner
Or call Bob Johnson,
or Bob Johnson.
he knows a lot of people that do
okay,
sign work, he knows.
I'll contact.
But he was advertising the 2x6 banner for like $69.
Hmm.
That's pretty good price.
Mhm.
Can I ask a question
Yep.
just to clarify? So the one application that's in the packet here,
Mhm.
are we saying that's not enough? We want to get more applications, or are we saying, okay, yes to this and then also more?
I'm saying yes to this and also more. I,
We should have a motion, I think, on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, can I ask a question on that before there's a motion? So I don't know Brent Dillman, and there's no references, and there's no, is he a student? Is this like? So I don't know. I'm not sure how to make a.
Dave Dillman works out the torque. It's
Yeah.
his son or grandson. His
No,
son or
it's
grandson.
his son.
His son.
And somebody knows if you guys know him.
I went to school with one of my younger brothers, so. So I know who he is, yes. Or that he didn't put any references. I think he owns his own trucking company, as a matter of fact, he drives the truck. I know that part. Other than that, that's all the history I know about him.
It's just tough to make a call with no info. Also hard to talk to people like Dr. Bell Gates to get.
We don't have a long list of, so.
So we'll call for motion either way to hire Brent Dillman for temporary torque.
I'll make a motion to hire Frank Gilman as an LTE until the end of the year.
A motion from Fred, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second from Carl, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. 28 senior center.
I'm so sorry.
Yep.
And then just to follow up, if he does, we'll need to do some like, paperwork for taxes and stuff. So you just let me know once you talk to him, and then try to get an email or something or have him stop in or make contact with me and then we'll do it. And then when you get that sign, just let me know, and then we'll coordinate when you're putting that up. We'll get something on the website.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
28 senior center report, Kate.
Yeah, there's been a lot of discussion, well, it's the discussion about what they want in the new senior center has sort of been stopped. And now we're talking more about what will be in the new contract look like, because it's pretty much agreed, we'd like to come up with a different contract than what is there right now. I think we'll know more what the plan, how it will go to even discussing this, not at this first joint meeting, but the one after that will be when she has all the information on fees. But we had, it was a 2-hour meeting the last time we met with people from the village. And it was interesting because the representative from the village showed us everything that they do. They have, I think they're trying to encourage us that if you run your town a little better, maybe you'll have more money for the senior center. But we kind of told them not going to make any difference. We have problems with the $1,500 thing, because they hire the company to do, what's the name of the company? Ellers to do all their work. And they used to have a 5-year CIP plan. Now they have a 10-year CIP plan, which got us motivated to maybe come up with something like that too, because everything is getting more expensive. But I think they're really aware that, we can't pay this. No matter how you tell us you run your town, it's going to be different from us. And Jennifer and I talked about maybe contacting other towns that have senior centers and finding out how the towns are paying it, what their contracts are like. So we can have more information the next time we get together and start talking about the finances again. So yeah, Martin had a lot of information. I think he heard us. And Dawn was there, and
Randy.
yeah,
So,
Lisa and the person from Brooklyn.
oh, yeah.
Linda.
Linda, yeah, so everybody was equally concerned and happy that now, you know, we need to talk about this before you automatically think we're gonna renew it because
I appreciate you putting the time and effort in there. Can you continue with that?
Yeah.
Follow through. Appreciate it.
So Kate, they talked about having someone on this committee. Would that be you then? Would you want to do that?
on the committee for the next contract,
Yeah.
or is there somebody else that's more experienced with the contract?
I think they were looking.
I mean, I'd
for
happy
someone-
to do it, but I
Yeah.
don't know whether I'm the most qualified person.
Well,
Well, I think it's just getting information together. They'll be writing it up.
yeah.
And, you know, before we're gonna approve it, we probably want to probably send it to our attorney.
And I think we'll have many meetings again with the town clerks too, just like this last one.
They'll probably, yes.
But they wanted us to go back to, they wanted everyone to go back to their boards to decide if they could have one member be on this kind of separate contract committee like there was
'Cause
before.
when's the current one end?
2023 goes to 2023.
That's what I thought, yeah.
It's for 3 years, so I think.
Yeah, it goes to 2023. So
We got time.
we got time, you know, well, 2023, 6 months. might be
Oh.
long, just around the corner. So, but yeah, you can keep working on it. That'd be great. Okay, thank you.
Question, how often does the village report on how many town residents are using these services? I know that we got a report from like
Annual
the
report.
annual wrap up, but do we get that each month too, or each meeting?
They have a system the way they know exactly. who
I think you
comes.
can get it if you ask for it.
Yeah.
I'm sure Rachel keeps track of it down.
Essentially, the center is used by everybody. So it's not limited to just village or town
Right,
residents. Anyone
right.
can use it. So, you know, so we're sort of kind of paying into a community center of sorts.
Right. Well,
Because they all can use it. The senior center is open to anybody.
so I mean, so they're, the one part where they break out how they calculate the costs and the share for each municipality. I mean, there's the fixed costs and it's just based on population, right? So here's Oregon, whatever. The others are based on cases, on individuals.
It's
So-
got a weighted formula of like, depending on what services they use. It just, somebody could look at the contract and could explain it because it's very complicated.
Because what I don't know is like of the things that they count the number of residents that are using whatever service. You know, if that's 100 from the town of Oregon, is that a decent number to? I mean, what's the number? What's the magic number? You know, so
Magic number for what?
for having it be something that we should still participate.
But you can call Rachel and ask her them questions. She can give you that information.
They have an electronic sign up. Any senior comes in and uses the system. They have an electronic sign up for that particular time if they use it. And so they keep track daily, weekly, and monthly and yearly who uses it and who's it from.
So you stop down there, Rachel. will fill you in.
Because I think it's probably, what we probably find is that a lot of people use it and it makes a lot of sense to keep participating. But I'm not sure.
I think it makes sense to participate. I think.
Yeah, I
we're
don't
just-
see how we could not.
Yeah.
participate.
We gotta participate, but
it-
it's a matter of how
just-
much.
Yes, it's just a matter of how our contribution, like, for example, there's a lot of overhead that we pay for administrative costs into it, and perhaps something can be done to look at that, because that's a village department, and perhaps that administrative, we pay it with the fire departments, but we're owners in the fire department. This is not, we don't have ownership in this, so perhaps there's some ways in that contract.
I mean, we spend 20,000 a year in repairs, but we don't own that. We own nothing of that building. So for the fire department, we own part. So that is something to really look into and
Right.
hopefully we can change things. But yeah, we still need to utilize it some point. We need to support it as much as we can. So my guess is 29 is the same thing as you just talked about, discussion.
Right.
And then senior center, give it more to talk about it, correct? You're willing to stay?
Yep.
30 accessor services report, order review, July 19th, 2022, 12:02.
So I'm
Still on?
planning for, yep, so I am planning for everyone with the exception of Fred, or are you gonna make it July?
31 is building inspection services.
Did I not get that in there? And if
I have
so,
it
I apologize. Oh, no, it's on page 68. Do you guys want to talk about that?
Oh, that's the other part?
That's the Della Road.
Okay, I was gonna do that underneath 34 or 33. This is, I'm underneath building inspection services right now.
Okay, all right, okay. Okay, then the packet will just, we'll have to put back. Okay,
So no more on building inspection services. You guys got all that.
it's on page 83, there's
Yeah.
7.
32, updated American Rescue Plan. That's in the back.
We got the final and June, got it in June, into June, the final payment, that was that 318 they divided into, so we got that. So at some point, you guys can start talking about maybe how you want to use that money. Maybe that'd be another,
We have till when?
you have till, I think, 2026.
Board communication, next board meeting Tuesday, August 2nd. Election is. The election is August 2nd, right?
No, the board meeting is Tuesday, August 2nd. The election is Tuesday, August 9th. I just wanted to put that out there so that we didn't have to change the meeting date,
Okay,
but just to let you guys know that that's how they felt, because sometimes we do have to change that, but not for this one.
so once we're on that, let's talk about this. Paper from. There's no address on this. Oh yeah, Della Road.
So you might want to, I have that, she sent me a couple of emails, and that one that I passed out was one that she sent me after she had sent me some of the other stuff. So if you want to look on page 68 in your packet, you can kind of, I received a telephone call about the property owner at 858 Della Road. She said that her property assessment went up. She didn't notice it until she went to pay her taxes. She contacted Accurate. They then reduced her taxes for 2022. She asked about getting refunded. I sent a message to Accurate, and Accurate's response is on page 69. Hi, Jennifer, we assessed with the known data at the time last year. Owner contacted us in February this year, way after last year's board review, and indicated the value is off. Essentially, each year stands on its own, assessed with the known data at the time. The owner did not contact us during last year's reval. We feel it's not a correction of error because the responsibility to meet the reval deadline is on the taxpayer. However, if the town wants to proceed with the correction, we could do that. Let me know how the town would like to proceed and I can move forward. I asked her for some statutory language, and that is what's on page 68. And then also on this handout is the statutory language on how that works. I do not know. I talked to Kate this morning. I do not know if Accurate would cover that difference in taxes between what she feels like she should have been assessed and what she was assessed, or if the town would just have to pay that. Since they're saying that it's not their error, I'm not sure that they would cover that. So if the town wants to proceed, I think that would be, I do not know that amount of money. She has paid her first half of property taxes. The second half is due at the end of July.
Well. Open to suggestions.
Just something I looked up. I looked up on Access Dane what her tax bills were for the previous years before the revaluation. And 2018, 236,900, 2019, same amount, 2020, same amount. In 2021, almost doubled. So I don't know why she didn't catch it or say anything. I don't know, but I don't know why. somebody didn't say, okay, did we have other properties that doubled?
We did. It was a reval year, so all of our properties went up a lot. And so there were some properties that were just really underassessed. And it's
Okay.
very possible that they doubled, even maybe more than that. So, again, I'm
Okay, so
also
they
not,
wouldn't have, okay, so they wouldn't have caught it necessarily as being way out of line as
No.
an outlier kind of number.
we
So it's
hadn't done a
really-
reval in a really long time. So there were certain properties that were really low, certain properties that did see drastic increases, but to your point, they didn't catch it.
Right.
And I'm not an assessor, so, there are certain requirements that meet that correction of error.
Mhm.
But they did bring it back down for this year, correct?
They did,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think what might have happened is, like my taxes went up and I called because it was an
Right.
easy thing to do. And then I said, well, we still have the same bathrooms, the same kitchen, we haven't done anything. And they automatically use a percentage to make everything go up. And when I told them that, they said, okay, well, bring it down a little bit. So my guess is that's maybe what happened with her when she called and voiced a complaint for it. And she explained things, then they brought it down. What does that mean?
Well, part of it is the owner's responsibility.
Exactly.
And it's 140,000, that's quite a few dollars. I don't know, we've had people that got errors before and we didn't back up and do anything for them, so. We always kind of said it was the owner's responsibility, but things have changed, so. I'm open to suggestions, Carl.
I'm not really sure. I think it really just hinges on, it seems like it just hinges on the owner not catching it. And it was an expensive mistake. But I don't know that it's a correction. I don't know that it's something that we should correct.
Fred?
It's on the owner.
Kate?
I think it's on the owner too.
So I guess at that, we need to make a motion on this, we leave it alone.
It's fine. I don't know that you have to make a motion because I don't have it on the
Sure.
agenda, actually.
Right.
But if this is what you want, then I can just contact Amanda back and let her know that the board has said that it's the owner, and then she can proceed to contact the property owner. And you might see that property owner back here at a board meeting.
I
possibly.
would just tell them, that's been the procedure in the past. So. Future agenda items, what's that,
If
Fred?
we go back to board communication, I'd like to say that past chairman Daryl Weber passed away on Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, so I'd like to recognize Daryl for all of his years of service to the township.
Yes, thank you. You've been battling cancer, what, 3 years?
At least 3 years, yeah.
Would you do me a favor when you see the obituary? I've been looking. If you see it, would you send it to me?
I will.
I haven't seen it either.
No, it hasn't been pointed, the wake is at Gunderson Funeral Friday, 5 to 7 is the wake, and then funeral at Gunderson to follow, 7 o'clock.
Okay.
Friday night. But there hasn't been an obituary posted yet.
You want to get a plan, Jennifer? I need to get it.
Sure, I can, unless you want to, I have no, whatever you want.
It's up to you.
I'll do it. That's
You do
fine.
it.
Anything in particular that you like to send?
Just from the town board.
Okay.
For town of Oregon. I mean.
Yeah.
Future agenda items, updated vision statement. Carl, have you done anything yet? Or
No, I think I think we need to have a discussion first, probably.
I think-
on that.
I think we should wait until we get towards after election November. Our clerk office will have more time. After the election, to get things rolling on this, and I think it's more of a winter project than it is summer and fall.
Yeah, I don't know how, like for the project that happened 20 years ago,
Yep.
I think it was long. I think it took a long time.
Well, yeah, I know it was the first one, so I think it took a lot of planning.
Right.
I mean, if you want to start planning stuff, I mean, go ahead, but I think to get everything really rolling, we have to wait after the election. You're gonna be asking for information from the girls in the office and it's not gonna happen before then.
So to answer your question, I've not really sketched out how this might happen. And I don't know, there's that, and then there's also the thing that I mentioned last time and mentioned earlier this meeting about defining, or at least not understanding the rules and the duties and all of that. So I think I would almost push that one first before the vision plan. And I think it'll play out that way anyway. I'm hoping to have at least some notes for next meeting that we can, look at and talk about. So I don't have anything. I probably would not have anything in August, but I can start to sketch it out.
Okay. Sounds good. Purchase a future equipment purchase, we're gonna put that off.
Yeah, and
All the things together.
I just put that in there
Yep.
at the very end of the packet is something that Abel got for.
Yep.
Plow trucks.
Clerk's report, loan update.
Our loans have not changed, so that's there. And clerk's report, we are getting ready for the August election, so we will have a board meeting prior to the August election. The 2 weeks prior to the August 9th, we will be open for in-person absentee voting. Absentee ballots have been sent out and will continue to be sent out. I did want to pass this out, Aramark. We talked about Aramark last week. I did not cancel it only because there's still credit we have on the account. So I'm waiting for that credit to get used up because they did overcharge us and they gave it back to us in a credit. And then once we use up that credit, but I contacted Cintas about getting rugs, getting a quote for rugs. And when they were here, they looked at the guys' uniforms, and Ryan likes to wear Carhartt and they offer Carhartts, which Aramark doesn't. So the guys are actually looking, I know we approved that amount of money, but maybe we'll look at them if they like that kind of jean. So I'll let you know. It's been hard to he's coming July 13th, I think, but Ryan's on vacation that week. So we'll look at it, but I think we'll have a little bit of time just as we use up this credit for Aramark.
Sure.
That's okay with everyone unless there's any other concerns.
Sounds good.
Sounds like it could be a use it or lose it deal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why that's why I sort of wanted to wait
Yep.
to use that up before we.
Just an update. Our joint meeting is July 26th. July 27th. It's the last Wednesday of July, isn't it, for the joint
27th.
fire and EMS?
27.
It's a
27th.
Wednesday.
Yep,
Mhm.
27th.
Wednesday, 27.
So put that on your calendars.
Sorry.
Item 36.
So moved.
Motion Fred to adjourn at 7:46. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second from Carl, any further discussion? If none, all fair is saying aye.
Aye.
Both same sign, motion carries.
Just hold the record.
I was pleasantly surprised.
Can't tell from the cloud.
I know,
I don't know, I'll have to go down and get some berries in that.
when there was 103 pages and 36 agenda items, I was